spoken to anybody. I just walked in the door. I'm gonna get my glasses replaced.
It's actually easier. Okay, it's 6 p.m. We'll let the meeting start. We'll call the meeting to order, and the first item is the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everyone will please stand, and Dr. Whaley, will you lead us in both?
Father, we just thank you for this wonderful town, city, state, and nation that's provided us with these great opportunities. We ask you to bless this group. Help us know how to follow you, and for our behavior and our decisions to be ethical, moral, and let us know what's right and what's wrong. Bless us as we deliberate. Bless the people who speak, and make us grateful for the blessing that you have given us to have this wonderful town, county, state, country. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the third item is approval of minutes from previous meeting. I assume you've all had a chance to review the minutes, so do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, do I have a second? Second. Okay, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
The next item is approval of agenda or motion to amend the agenda. Do we have either?
Yes, I'll make a motion to remove.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
Yes, I'll make a motion to remove agenda item 6D and 7B and move agenda item 6C from the consent agenda to action items.
Okay.
What was that again, Angie? Go over that one
That
more.
is to remove agenda item 6D and 7B and move the agenda item 6C from the consent agenda to action items.
Can you tell me which is what? please?
So the motion
Okay.
for the retirement plan, you want to remove it?
I've not seen it. I've not seen it at all, so I don't know if there's any
You want
changes
to
on
be
it.
Removed, okay.
Yes. And then 7D was the restroom project.
You want,
I think there needs to be a workshop on that. We've not looked, none of the council has went over the plans or anything, so, you know.
okay, and just so you all are aware, that one did go out to bid, and they've reduced the price, and we actually have a contract. They can start on it within the next 30 to 60 days, but if we table this, it will have to start the bid process all over.
Well,
So,
well, we can take it off and talk about it.
But
I mean,
you-
or not take it off, but leave it on and talk about it.
Can we have like a workshop on it this coming week? That way we don't miss that window. Can we
Yeah.
do like a workshop on it this week so we don't miss the window?
I think
for
that's,
looking
if,
at it?
yeah, if we don't vote on it tonight, I think it's a good idea to have a special call meeting with a workshop, yeah.
Whatever.
everybody's-
Y'all
Yeah,
wanna
I think
do,
that's good.
whatever.
I think that's the best thing to do, because
Yeah.
I don't think none of us have seen the plans, the revised plans.
Yeah.
Eric sent something that said that it was going down from 2 stories to 1 story, and the square footage went down, but I've just not seen the revised.
So your motion then is to
So,
take
Table.
7B, not to table it, but to move it to a workshop and then have a special meeting next
Well,
week sometime.
I mean, we could just remove it.
We'll
and
just
then we
remove
can
it
have a-
today.
Call for a workshop.
That's
So you
what
think
we'll
it'd be
do.
easier to remove it?
Yeah, yeah.
Then I second.
Yeah.
And I might suggest that we, maybe, if we're gonna do a workshop, maybe do 6C as well.
Yes.
I'm sorry, 6D as well, because that was, I think, something that was supposed to have been approved prior to the
Yeah.
end of the year. I
6B.
don't know
Yeah.
if we're in trouble for it,
Uh,
but it
okay, now,
probably needs
and,
to be.
that's the retirement thing? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine with me.
So add
Yeah.
those two items to a workshop, is what you're
Yes.
gonna do. I
Yes.
second.
Are we gonna discuss it now that it's been seconded?
Yep, just, we can discuss.
I hear an overwhelming consensus among visitors, business owners, and citizens for the restroom project to come to fruition. I stated so in an email to everybody. Before we even took office, we reviewed 2 strategic plans that go back about 8 years and 6 years, and all of them had one degree or another of new restroom facilities. We spent a lot of time coming up with the restroom that was delayed to the point that the rising cost of the construction put it beyond our pocketbook. And then our city administrator chiseled out I think as good a deal as we're likely to get. And I did review the plans. They were sent to all of us. So if there's anybody at this table who has not reviewed the plans, then it's because they didn't review what was sent to us. So I would be recorded as voting against removing that item from the agenda, and I would see no reason not to go ahead and remove the one that we have not had a chance to review. But these plans were distributed. Am I not correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I want to say that too, that I helped on the first one, but I didn't get to help on the second change, and I'm not really liking the second change. I have supported bathrooms since I was in office before, when it was going to cost us $3,000 to do, or $300,000 to do it. I'm a little concerned about the $1 million still, and that it's just one level, and the appearance of what it's going to look like. $1 million is a lot of money. And we do have a lot of things that still needs to be done, striping. I hear complaints all the time about streets not being striped. So there's still a lot of things to do, and I just feel like we should, just as a group, talk about this and see if we like the design, we think it's worth $1 million. I mean, this is a one-time deal, and I just think it just needs to be exactly what we want.
Vote on them one at a time. then.
Any further discussion? And please, everyone direct questions and comments towards the chair, please. Okay,
My other comment was vote on them one at a time.
okay. So what we will do on this then, as far as we will vote on removing downtown restrooms, we'll do that first. Bill, the motion was to remove it. Do you vote yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, Christie?
I'm fine with removing it, yes, if we do have a workshop on it in the next week.
Well, that was the
Yeah.
motion.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Angie? And Dr. Whaley?
No.
Okay. The removal of 6D, which is a retirement plan that we should have done earlier, move that to the workshop. Do we have that motion was to move it to the workshop? Bill? Yes or no?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
And?
Yes.
Dr. Whaley. Okay. And then for 6C, move that to an action item. We can move it below as action item B. Do we had a motion to move it, Bill? Yes or no?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
And Angie?
Yes.
And Dr. Whaley? Okay. So the motion was, those are accepted, and so the agenda has been amended to reflect the changes. Okay? So the next item is public hearings, and we're going to go ahead and let Chuck go over this first one. We will have a public hearing, which we will allow 10 minutes pro, 10 minutes con. If you have comments and want to come up, you'll be able to speak on behalf, either pro or con. We'll introduce the ordinance and then we'll ask for comments from the public. Okay, Chuck?
Yeah, this was presented by Eric at the last meeting for first reading. It's an ordinance to essentially establish the taps for water and sewer for the coming year, and it's on the agenda for a second reading tonight.
Okay, let's go ahead and call for public comments. Anyone, does anyone have a comment they'd like to give? Either pro or con. Anyone? Okay, so let's move it on to the agenda as far as this vote, and then we'll call for discussion. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
I asked Eric in the last meeting what the percentage was, and I talked to Becky today. What we're voting on here is to raise the tap. It'll be an extra $475 per tap, is what I've been told by Becky. So before we vote on it, you guys need to know what we're talking about charging. That's all I'm saying. Because I asked for percentage, and we've got it in here to raise the tap, but the people don't know, I don't think I need it, Doc, but I will. The people don't know what this charge is gonna be and how much. So when I spoke to Becky this afternoon, she told me it equaled out to about $475 extra per tap.
So that's per tap, and you have to keep in mind too, you have residential and commercial accounts, so it's hard to give a percentage on that because
Right.
obviously the residential accounts are much lower than the commercial accounts. So, we also have Matt Smith. You may want to ask Matt if you have any questions. Are you in here, Matt? Do you have anything you'd like to add on this?
No, ma'am, I did not have any input.
Okay. So, you know, and when we increase our tap fees, we're doing this because we're offering these services. And unfortunately, as part of inflation, you have to increase prices. So that's,
Madam Mayor, as I understand it, when we asked this question before, we're essentially tapping today at below our market costs. That the raises are different for, we
Correct.
saw all the raises,
Yeah.
I mean, we went over those, but each one of them, we were told, reclaims our out-of-pocket expense or the cost of making the tap, and that it is at, equal or below that of our town to the south. Am I not correct?
yes, correct,
Okay.
correct.
So I think I understand that
Yeah.
the amount we're raising it is different percentage for each one based upon the cost of providing the service, and that our water hookup costs are in line with our sister cities or below.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or discussion? Okay, let's have a roll call vote since it is a second reading for an ordinance. Dr. Whaley? Angie?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
And Bill?
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes 5-0. Right. Okay, the next item is a zoning ordinance amending the zoning map, and this was actually for a rezoning request, and I'm going, did Eric give you the package?
He did.
Okay,
and
I wasn't sure if he gave it to you or Amy, so,
I can
Okay.
introduce it. So this is an application to rezone 4.14 acres located in the Fannin Industrial Park. The applicant is CHNA Holdings LLC. The request is to rezone 3 parcels from M1, which is the manufacturing district, to Community Commercial District C2. My understanding, at least, is that the rezoning is to bring the actual use of the property into conformity with the zoning ordinance. I understand that it's being used for office now, and that would continue under the C2 zoning, and staff recommended a condition to limit it to that use. So you would rezone it, but the condition would limit it to that use. Planning Commission also recommended approval subject to that commission, to that recommendation, to that condition. So tonight, as you guys know, we approve rezonings by ordinance, which requires a first and second reading. But really, what's before you tonight is whether or not to accept the planning commission recommendation. If you accept the recommendation, then this ordinance will come back before you next month for the second reading and approval. If you don't accept it, then that will just be the end of it.
Okay. So they'll need to vote on this then, okay, to accept the zoning amendment. Okay, and we are having a public hearing on this part, so we will at this time ask for any public comments, again, either in favor or against this rezoning. And please come up to the mic and state your name and you, okay.
Hi, my name's Scott Kelly. I happen to be the husband of one of the doctors that wants to put an office in there. And so I think we're gonna bring quite a bit to Blue Ridge. She's a dermatologist, actually a surgical dermatologist. She focuses on skin cancer, so for one of the offices in that building, it's gonna be a real benefit to the town and the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, would anyone else like to speak? Please. And again, please just state your name. I think we all know you, but
I'm
state your
Debbie
name.
Self. I'm here tonight representing Mr. Stam, who is the owner of CHN Holdings. He's out
Closer
of
to the
town.
mic.
Is that better? I'm not used to microphones, you have to excuse me. But he just wanted to thank everyone for considering the zoning request for him. Right now, currently, there are 6 different businesses in this area that's being rezoned, and we've always operated there with no trouble. But again, we have Mary, who is wanting to open up the dermatology office, which we think would be a huge asset for all of us, because if you've ever tried to get a dermatology appointment, you know how long it takes, and sometimes you have to travel to get that. So we just really would appreciate your consideration of this, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I can get in touch with Mr. Stan, or if I don't know the answer, we'll get back with you before the second reading. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments from the public? Can you hear me? Okay. Could everyone please pull up their microphones? Thank you. Okay, I guess the public hearing portion of this is over at this time. Let's have we have a motion to accept it, we'll have a second and then discussion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the planning commission's recommendation to rezone said properties from M1 to C2 with the condition that it can be office uses.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second with a question. Chuck, there's no conflicts with any other zoning?
I'm not aware of any.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in discussion. Okay. So we have a first and a second. Now it's open for discussion.
You answered my question, we're good.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I guess we will vote to move forward. If we, Bill, Whaley?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Angie? Jack?
Yes.
Yes.
And Bill?
Yes.
Okay. So next week, or next month, we will have the second reading on this. Okay? Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. Have you all had a chance to review all this? Everything on there? Okay, do I have a motion? What was it? Well, if it's not on the agenda. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda with the removals and corrections that we made at the beginning, so that we are clear that we're voting on a modified consent
Okay.
agenda.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, let's have a roll call vote. Dr. Whaley?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
And Bill?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Okay. Then the next item, the action items, this would be a resolution the City of Blue Ridge, awarding and letting a bid contract for CNS project. And this is where, Matt, I want to have you come up to the microphone if you don't mind. And you can explain this one a bit in more detail. But this is basically for the stormwater project that was approved. Believe I received a letter from the governor the 31st, yeah, for the funding,
Yes,
so.
ma'am. This project bid out in November. North Georgia Concrete was the low bidder at a base bid of $3,892,362. The funding that the city had allocated, I think from Eric's notes, was about $1.9 million. So there was $2 million deficit that we applied to GIFA for the difference. That was awarded at a January GIFA board meeting, and I think you have it for signature. If you approve it to move forward with the project, I think you have that agreement from GIFA. So I think that's the question is, are there any questions on the project, the scope, and moving forward with awarding it to North Georgia Concrete and approving the loan from GIFA for $2 million?
Give a brief explanation to the public of what we're spending $3.8 million on.
This is to resolve the storm drainage problem that we've been looking at since 2015 in the downtown area, specifically from Mountain Street heading north parallel with East Main Street to the point where it ties back into the existing creek. Running 7-by-5-foot box culvert under the existing city parking lot to move the water out of that intersection that currently floods. I think when you have flash flood problems, that area stands in water. Is to move that water more efficiently to the creek and discharge it. So
How's it gonna, is it gonna go in the same place that it is now?
no,
Like-
ma'am, not currently. There's an existing ditch that runs across Mountain Street by the gym, behind the co-op, kind of on the far right side of that parking lot. This is going to be on the far left side. There'll be double box culverts that are run underneath the parking lot, parallel with the railroad tracks. That existing ditch will remain in place and carry just what's left off the parking lot and coming off of East Main Street. So we couldn't abandon that ditch, but we're primarily using it only for what's coming off the buildings and the East Main Street. Majority of the water will be held by these two large box culverts that will be installed.
Any further questions? Okay. So, this bid is ready to go out. I think all we have to do now is just vote on it and it will be executed, so. Okay, do I have a motion to approve this bid?
I make a motion to approve BR 2024-06.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, let's have a roll call vote. Bill?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
And Dr. Whalen?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, the next item, purchasing policy.
Are you gonna do 7D?
Oh, I did not do 7B, did I? Well, the downtown restroom, she removed it.
No, didn't we move 6C?
Oh, this is true,
and
we
make
did.
it move
Yeah, we did.
7D?
So let's move that one. The resolution for the mayor and the council of Blue Ridge to enter into a loan agreement for the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority in the amount of $2 million. That was actually, I guess. what we
Yeah, that
did
was
for
just
Yep.
moved because it wasn't,
Yep.
just to make it clear what it was, and I think Matt just done that. So it pertained to this storm drain, part of this $3.5 million. So we're getting a $2 million loan on that goes toward that. Yes.
Matt, is there anything else on that you want to add for that resolution?
No, ma'am, not looking for
Okay.
motions.
Okay, and I think you all voted to approve that, but
Let's go ahead and have
Yeah.
a vote on,
Let's have
since
a
it's
vote.
a separate
Yeah,
resolution.
okay. Do I have a motion
So moved.
to accept it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Dr. Whaley?
Aye.
Angie?
Yes.
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
And Bill?
Yes.
Okay, then let's move down to the purchasing policy. We removed the downtown restroom, so the purchasing policy.
The charter requires the council by ordinance to prescribe procedures for purchasing for the city, and the city council has done that. We do have a current purchasing policy. However, most of that authority is given to the city administrator up to a certain amount. And we need to amend the policy to provide for a different arrangement if we're not going to have a city administrator. So this would be a first reading of what is BR 2024-08. It would essentially give the department heads the ability to approve purchase orders up to $5,000, with the water department having the ability to approve purchases up to $10,000. Otherwise, the city council would approve purchases, and then there are exceptions in the draft policy for professional services, recurring purchases, and purchases made pursuant to contracts that have already been approved by the council. So this would just be for purposes of a first reading tonight.
Can we address questions now to him?
Yes, let's go ahead and open it up for discussion. And I don't believe we will be voting on this tonight. We will just, so we will go ahead and open it up for discussion.
My first question is that we, as I understand our charter, this authority lies in the hands of the mayor and was delegated to the city administrator when one was hired. Is that correct?
Well, what the charter says is that the city council is to prescribe procedures for purchasing.
So what we did, though, is we gave that to the city administrator.
That's correct.
Now, a city administrator position is open and is being advertised. Is this going to handicap us when or if we fill that position that is open and being advertised?
Well, it certainly.
Oh, and is there a reason we can't give the authority to the mayor, like they did to the city administrator?
There's no reason you can't give the authority to the mayor. I don't know what effect it would have on the advertisement for the city administrator position, but if adopted, it would certainly change some of the duties of the city administrator.
Okay. Yeah, I've met with the finance director and numerous department heads. The current policy is very effective. We've had no issues with anything going on right now. When Eric resigned, right now we're kind of at a standstill. We have, I think, 92 open invoices as of today that need to be paid. So regardless, we need to put a standard in place so that those bills, so that things can get paid right now. So my suggestion would be that, because this is an ordinance, and I agree, I think we need to have someone to have a centralized system in place, the mayor, and then possibly the department heads, 2 department heads who oversee this. But that way it is centralized, you have that in place. I agree with you, Dr. Whaley. It might be more simple just to simply replace the wording, as Chuck had suggested at one point, so that it says the mayor or designated employees or employee.
Well, I don't have a problem with that at all. The only thing that I had a concern was the $75,000 spending limit. I think we had some concerns, even when we done this, we went ahead and went with it because Eric was used to having being a city manager in a larger city, he was used to having a large spending limit, but that is a big spending limit.
What amount would you feel comfortable with?
Well, I asked Becky and Barbie, and I mean, they're fine with the 10,000 for the water and then the 5,000 for everything else.
So in speaking with James, there are a lot of contractual invoices that are paid, such as our retirement plan, things like that, that aren't that would exceed that 5,000. So it was suggested to keep possibly the 20,000 for water sewer, and same thing across the board.
I don't remember her saying 20,000 to me, Becky, but I'm fine with that. Whatever you need to do for normal business.
Well, I think if you did 20,000, I think it would make it more feasible.
For the water or for all departments?
Just across the board.
I will say she did come to me before the meeting, and she was gonna try to wait to talk to you before you got here. But I think that's what she had said, because I was standing there with her, that would make it to where she didn't have to it wouldn't hold up work, and it would get approved. That way it's not.
You mean 20,000?
Yeah, that's what
Well,
she told me.
yeah.
But I don't,
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
even that is a lot, because, I
Yeah.
mean, if you look, I mean, just do your research, that's a high limit, but, you know, that's what y'all want to do. I'm good, I just think it needs to go down from
yeah,
75,000.
I agree with it going down.
Becky's been here a long time, just like Barbie has. And I think we have to show some trust in our employees. And I don't see Becky or Barbie, either one, ever doing anything that's dishonest or corrupt or shady. So
Well, I
I'm
didn't mean that,
pers-
it's still a
Right.
lot of money to let
I understand.
somebody make a
And I
decision.
agree with that.
Outside elected officials.
But there may be some things that need to go a little higher than $5,000.
I'm good with that.
So the suggestion from finance was 20,000 across the board, and then have the mayor and their designated, which I would say Becky and then possibly Joe over over the park department and the streets, yeah. And the mayor, I would only do it if they're in their absence.
So rather than Becky and Barbie, you would rather Joe be on it?
Mm-hmm. No, so Becky would be over water, sewer, and the office.
Who's
Anything in
Oh, okay,
those.
yeah.
And then Joe he would work with, because he's with Parks, he works with both departments right now. He
Okay.
would be over Parks and Street Department.
Is Denny not the
Mhm.
supervisor of all the departments right now? Is he not looking over the city? Is he not the one going out and looking for everything?
No, he's over the Street Department.
Well, this is the first reading. If there's any changes that, that anybody comes up with between now and when we do the second, I mean, it can be changed. So,
That's
I
correct,
mean,
Chuck?
Sounds like
That's
a
correct.
good plan.
Okay.
Do we need to vote on these changes before going to the second reading? Or we're
No,
good? Okay.
in fact, you really can't, but
Okay.
I think I've got direction.
Okay.
And so, if there's some urgency, maybe this is something that can be added to the agenda for the special call meeting.
So, yeah, I was going to suggest, because we have payroll this week, we have, like I said, 92, actually 2 more were added today, of outstanding invoices. So we have people calling us wanting to be paid, and we're taking kind of a step back right now. So I feel like we need to at least put a verbal policy in place tonight, if we could vote on that. Is that possible?
Yeah, what I would recommend is that, because we do have a policy in
Mhm.
place, that we just designate someone other than the city administrator,
Okay.
since no one's in that position.
Until we get the second reading in
Until
place.
the second reading.
Okay.
And that person would do what, Chuck?
They would approve purchases per the existing policy.
Just like Eric did.
They would do the same thing the city administrator had the ability to do.
Mhm.
We've
And
already,
I said early on, I think that should be the mayor.
Yeah, I'm fine with
I
that.
don't want to do it.
So, I mean, we could just let the mayor and the two that we were gonna put in the original, I mean, when we make the change.
Yeah,
but today we need to put somebody in to
Yeah, and
take
that
care of
could- that could
everything.
be those the same
Mhm.
people.
So is that what you want to do? You want to put the mayor and those other 2 folks in the same way we did to make the,
Might as well, I mean, if we're gonna do it at the second reading, I think, I mean,
Okay, well, let's make a formal motion.
My motion is that the mayor be placed in the role of the city administrator in the ordinances and policies and procedures as are now articulated. That way, it's just clean.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I need to hear it again, I'm sorry.
Is that what we need?
You're fine.
So
Setting-
my understanding is, the motion is for the mayor to be substituted for the city administrator in the existing purchasing
In the
policy
existing purchasing
Okay.
policy and procedures.
until such time as the,
I said exactly right. I said,
Okay. Okay.
and until such time as they no longer are the existing policies, procedures, and ordinances. That's clean,
Okay,
and we can change it.
Sounds good. Do I have a second?
I'll second,
Okay. Let's have a roll call vote. Dr. Whaley, Angie,
yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
and Bill.
Yes.
Okay. So motion passes on that. We can pay our bills. Yay. So- Okay, the next, we have no discussion items after that. Reports, we have no reports. Public comments. So if anyone has a comment, you can come up to the mic. You have 3 minutes. And just to introduce yourself, say your name, please.
Good evening, guys. My name is Troy Sherburne. Tonight I'm representing the BRBA. I'm the co-president of the BRBA, and I just wanted to just let you guys know that this weekend we had the Fire and Ice Festival, and we had at least over 4,000 people, and it was a great day. It was freezing, but everyone had a good time. And I just want to do a quick shout out to Joe Patterson. He was helping us and supporting us in the electrical and some different little issues that we had there. But a great job, and he represented the city well. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Good. Yeah, it was a great event, by the way. Yep. Okay, do we have someone else who would like to speak? Okay, just state your name and you have 3 minutes.
Cesar Martinez, also with the BRBA. Great. I don't know who went this weekend. Did any of you go this weekend?
I did.
I saw Christy.
One of you, two of
Christy,
you
yeah.
went this weekend. It was a fantastic event. So thank you so much. And really, Joe did a fantastic job. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, but great job. What I want to talk about right now is I understand there's some issues with the bathroom downtown. I've been talking about this for 13 years. We need to do something about this. It's far past time to do something. Our city has grown to the point where we need to do something about it. It really, as far as I'm concerned, you've got these people who would come to our town who can't go to the bathroom, for God's sake. We need to do something about it. Stop this, whatever the hell it is, and get it done. Do it. Get past this. We need to have it done, and we need to have it done now. So just get it done. You have the power to do it. Do it. It's far past the time to do it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Would anyone else like to speak?
My name is Josh Snyder. Is it okay, Mayor, I hate to approach you guys?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
So you must be the one who's going to have the PowerPoint. No.
I just wanted to avoid boring you guys to death on the
Get
PowerPoint.
real close to the microphone.
Yes, sir. No, my name's Josh Snyder. Being a former teacher of 10 years, I figured a PowerPoint was a really bad option. I remember being bored to death with those. So, but no, I own Blue Ridge Scenic Rentals. We've just started this business recently and received our business license. We are located at 126 Josh Hall Road, and what we are proposing would be some way that we could have an opportunity to be able to utilize city streets for that. House Bill 121 was just recently passed, which allowed UTVs to be street legal, and that's for county roads. And so the state did not overstep its bounds by pushing that into the city or pushing that on the state highways, but they did allow it with county roads. And so what I'm asking is that the city council would consider allowing House Bill 121 to be allowed in the city as well. The way that I look at it is that with me being a local business, my kids attend West Van, and we're just trying to grow a business that would be family oriented and something that would be fun for the community. Our ultimate goal is to go from Josh Hall Road to East First Street and then to be able to get onto Aska. Currently, there's a line on the back of your flyer has the proposed route that is in green. And as you can see, the city of Blue Ridge is pretty far reaching. So we're trying to basically give an on-road experience for our customers, and it's something that we'd like you guys to consider. Our objective would be to either, provide some type of a permit, if that's what's feasible for the city, as a way that we have a sticker on our window or something so that there is a cost to that so that everyone's not doing it. I see that almost being more difficult to maintain for our city police. And speaking with GSP, DNR, and our city police of Blue Ridge, I think it's a good option. The main concern is headaches for our city police. and just trying to figure out some options for that. As far as our residents and visitors, I definitely believe we just purchased 2 units from Mason Tractor and excited to support that business. I've also spoken with Blue Ridge Yamaha and worked with Chris on some possibilities of some other units. So there are certain restrictions that's on the second pamphlet that will let you know as to what's allowed and not allowed on the highways. So we're making sure that we're following that to the T and trying to head those things off early, so that it is a positive experience for residents and visitors alike, and that we're not becoming a burden on the city. So my proposal would be that to see if the city would consider moving House Bill 121 and what it entails as either a city ordinance or accepting that as something that the city would consider. So, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, any other comments? Okay. I believe we do need to go into executive session, so do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay.